Hey guys, this is James. Welcome back to Cowboy Country. I am the unofficial mayor of Cowboy Country, and I am so glad you are here. Yes, I have a big smile on my face because I did not go 4-5 this week. In fact, I went 7-2, and I am very, very, very happy. And the next bobblehead came in, and I told you it was one of three schools. It was either Iowa State, West Virginia, or Kansas, and it's Musket, West Virginia. So, singing Country Road. So anyway, I'll put Musket there. Congratulations to them on beating OU for the first time since they joined the Big 12. I know West Virginia fans are very happy. Hopefully they don't burn too many couches. Celebrate in other ways. Go drink responsibly and have a few adult beverages and have fun and don't burn anything. Anyway, back to sports. We are going to cover the results of my picks last week. Remember, I did include. Well, actually, BYU had a bye, but I included Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF because they are joining the Big 12. So, speaking of the Bearcats, ECU at Cincinnati Friday night, a little bit closer than I thought it would be, but Cincinnati did win 27-25. So good for the Bearcats. Obviously, that makes the Big 12 look better. OU at West Virginia. This was a little bit tighter than I thought, and I was totally unaware of this backup quarterback who basically likes to run the ball just as much as he does throwing the football. I caught bits and pieces of it at the end. But good for the Mountaineers. They won 23-20. I did not pick that. I thought OU would win. But obviously, Neil Brown was smart enough to realize that his quarterback, even though JT Daniels is very talented, I think he has been there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. I also think if you're one-dimensional, teams can just rush you and go after you. And I think over time that I don't think he's 100% health-wise. All right, Iowa State at Oklahoma State. What an ugly, ugly, ugly game. But yes, my beloved Cowboys pulled it off 20-14. And give credit to where credit is due. Mike Gundy realized that his son was just not getting it done. And his starter, Sanders, was healthy enough to be out there. So he said, look, Coach, I need to get in there. I need to win this game. And that's exactly what they did. OSU 20, Iowa State 14. Kansas State at Baylor. Wow. Willie, you came down to Waco and whooped up on the Bears. Holy cow. I did not see this coming. But I do know that I only saw the stats. I only saw the numbers. But apparently Will Howard got put back in the game. I'm hoping Martinez didn't get hurt. But I was down in Austin all day doing training for work. So on my way back, I was listening to the Oklahoma State game. So I did not get to see any of that. Whether he got hurt or he got pulled, Will Howard, in my opinion, is a better quarterback than Martinez. I never thought I would say that at the beginning of the year, but he is. And it looks like to me, in my opinion, yes, I know Texas beat Kansas State, but with Will Howard in the game, I think Kansas State is a better football team than Texas is. Kansas State 31, Baylor 3. Wow. Kansas at Texas Tech. Now, I knew I was taking a chance on this. I knew that. But I thought being Kansas's running back, if Kansas could run the football and keep Tech's offense off the field, they would have a good chance of winning. But Texas Tech's defensive line was very physical. I watched some of it earlier, and that's why they were able to limit Bean's numbers. And of course, one of the guys that had gotten hurt before they put Morton in come back, and apparently he's a pretty good quarterback. So Tech won 43-28. I don't know. I still think Morton is the future. So we'll see what happens. It wouldn't shock me if that kid ended up in the transfer portal. I hope so, because I want him wearing orange and black. SMU at USF. Oh, yeah. I picked the SMU game because BYU had a bye, so I wanted to pick at least 9 games. So that's why I threw the Mustangs in there. Plus, I do have a little soft spot in my heart for them. I've been to SMU Stadium twice this year. Of course, the tickets were pretty cheap. So anyway, SMU at USF. SMU won 41-23. Temple at Houston. Houston is going to be one of those teams that joins the Big 12. They won 43-36. I'm surprised that Temple put up as good of a fight as they did. Guess they're not as... I mean, they used to be a really bad football team, but apparently they've gotten a lot better. So, good for them. In the other game that I picked, there were 2 games that I picked that I knew would be kind of a mild upset. KU going into Texas Tech and winning, that was going to be somewhat of an upset. I was wrong about that one. But I picked UCF over Tulane. Remember, Tulane beat Kansas State. And since then, we found out that both teams are really good. So the idea of UCF going into Tulane and winning, you're like, well, that's kind of a stretch, don't you think? But the previous 2 weeks, I had picked against UCF and lost. Wait a minute. Yeah. And then last week, I picked UCF and they won. So I was like, look, they're on a winning streak. They're playing well. I'm going to go with UCF. And it was just a sheer gut feeling. Nothing else. And sure enough, they won 38-31. So yay. 7-2 this week. I was 53-35 up until that point. So now my new totals are 60-37. That puts me about 62%. Hopefully in these last 2 weeks I'll do well and get that number back up above 70%. But this was a good week as far as picks, and obviously a good week when Oklahoma State wins. I'm just going to say, next week is Bedlam. And you're like, well, why the heck are you going to UTEP if Bedlam is next week? Because the tickets are like $135. My ticket at UTEP cost me somewhere around $17. He's like, yeah, but James, you got to drive 9 hours to get there. Look, the article I showed you a couple days ago, and you can go back and look at my video, the top 16 or stadiums in the state of Texas. Go back and look at that. You'll realize that I have physically seen 9 out of the top 10 and 12 out of the top 15. I don't know why they got Rice at 16. Rice should be much higher than that. But so I've given you a wide variety of stadiums to compare to Boone Pickens Stadium. If you can't see on the side of the football, I know it's flat, but here's Boone Pickens Stadium on the side of this football. I wanted to give you videos and show you stadiums and compare those stadiums with Boone Pickens Stadium. So obviously that's the west end zone. That's the best view. But from what I've seen, other stadiums will cheapen out. They'll make the side that's facing the road look good, and the side that's not facing the road, they'll kind of cheapen it out and just be bare bones and utilitarian. But anyway, on that list of top football stadiums in Texas, the Sun Bowl is number 4. They have Kyle Field, number 1, McLean, Baylor, number 2, Darrell K. Royal, number 3, and the Sun Bowl, number 4. Now, it's kind of built into the mountain, so I think that's kind of cool how they did that, and so that's why I'm going to do that. I'm also going to stop in Abilene on Friday and do Abilene Christian University. My ultimate goal by the end of the year is to do an actual marketing plan and submit it to the Oklahoma State athletic department to show what are some ways we can make the fan experience better at Boone Pickens Stadium. So, I think there's some things I've learned along the way that you can do that. Rice has put phone towers on their stadium. A&M and Baylor and a few other places use banners as decorative ways of just making the atmosphere better. I think personally using banners would help because not everybody that played at Oklahoma State is going to be in the Ring of Honor. That is reserved for the best of the best. Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, Bob Fenimore, Leslie O'Neal. I honestly think Rashawn Woods belongs up there. And obviously, as far as coaches are concerned, you would put Mike Gundy and Pat Jones up there. But that's reserved for like the best of the best. You can put banners on the outside of the stadium at each gate that would honor and highlight some of the best players that we've had at Oklahoma State. You know, people like Tatum Bell or here recently, just excuse me. But we've had some good players that I think. I tell you what. Why don't you, in the comments below, put in the comments players that you think would deserve to have a banner put on the outside of the stadium. Go look at the A&M video I did on Kyle Field, and you'll see all the banners at the different gates. It's almost like doing a history lesson on Texas A&M football. It was really cool. I do know they had a banner there for Dat Wynn, the linebacker that eventually played for the Dallas Cowboys. So, like Justin Blackman would be a good player to put a banner of. Tatum Bell, Vernon Morency. Let me think. Zach Rudolph, Brandon Whedon, Justin Blackman. You know, players like that. We should have banners on the outside of the stadium with their picture. You know, obviously it would be an orange banner. It would have their picture on it. It would have their number that they wore. And it would just represent the legacy of Oklahoma State football, especially the last 20 years. So, anyway, if you are new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe. There'll be no video for... Well, technically, this is Sunday's video. I'm doing it Saturday night. This is technically Sunday's video. I don't know if I'm going to do anything on Monday or not. If I do, I definitely won't do one on Tuesday because I've got to get caught up on reading. I am working on my PhD. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I got a lot of reading to do. So anyway, I tell you what, Monday... What I should do, Monday, I will do a response video to the AP top 25, see if Oklahoma State's listed there. So, anyway, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I know that your time is valuable, and I try to put good quality content on there. So, greetings, or I should say, my guys say goodbye, and I hope you have a good weekend.